Khalil, thank you very much for
Hey,
those.
Sir Nelson. Of course, I'm very happy to be here to talk
Mm-mm.
about life.
Live, yan. Marami tayong pag-uusapan na ganyan. Nung nakita kita the first time, isa lang yung nasabi ko. Um, the camera does not give justice sa'yo.
Ay, grabe.
Especially your eyes. Diba? Wala pa ako nakikitang close-up shot mo or interview mo or any photo mo that captured yung mata mo pag nakikita siya in person. I don't know why. Na parang I've been in the industry for 2 decades and ang dami ko nakita na magagandang mata, magagandang muka. Pero seldom ako talaga yung hihinto at sasabihin ko talaga, ganda ng mata nito
Well, I have my mom to thank for that. But thank you, Sir Nelson. I'm super flattered with your
You
opinion.
know,
I always get that din yung, I mean, nagsisimula pa lang ako, people would always tell me to harness my asset, yung mata ko. Because that's what they say, lalo na sa pag-aarte. Sabi nila, your biggest asset is your eyes, are your eyes. So, ewan ko. I just always say na if my eyes are like this, yung lalo na ang dami nagsasabi na yung kulay daw ay maganda. I would always tell them na wait till you see my mom's because her eyes are much lighter pa than mine.
you're one of the few people kasi na sa industry natin na pag in-interview ko or pag kinausap ko, hindi bumibitaw yung mata mo sa ano. So parang nagkakaroon ng connection. And I love that. Gabby is one of them. That's why sabi ko nga, di ba, from the start, parang GabLil shipper ako.
Yeah, very start pa lang. You would always like show your support. And we're super thankful for that, Sir Nelson.
Pero, teka muna, Khalil. Meron pala nung parang sort of option ang family mo na magma-migrate kayo sa US. US tama, no?
Yeah.
And nabago lahat yun because you had to enter show business.
Yeah. So basically what happened nun, so my dad was actually in the US na nun. He was getting ready to work there because he used to work for a company here that supplies automobile parts. So merong office sa US yung company na yun, and he was planning to, get transferred there so that he could bring the entire family there. And then my mom at that time also was her brand that she was working on isn't doing as well as it's doing now, like in present day. So we were a middle class family, but we had struggles along the way, and the best option for us at that time was to just move to the US for better opportunities and just a better, I guess, life for us. And my mom wanted us to have better education there as well. My mom was slightly against the fact that I was gonna audition. But she just really let me be. Naalala ko, sabi pa niya nun, parang school mo, you have school on that day. Pero eventually, hindi niya kinontra. She was even there during my audition. So, todo support naman siya. But yeah, we were supposed to go na. But then, all of a sudden, I was blessed with work. And we were really surprised because I didn't expect, akala ko, and to be honest, akala ko after the PGT thing, that's pretty much it. I had no idea what showbiz was like. Yeah, nagulat kami na, okay, they're offering me work, and they're offering me work that I've never dipped my toes in, acting. All of a sudden, they gave me an acting role that for me, grabe nun, was a huge thing that intimidated me, to be honest. And I was supposed to decline, But my then handler told me that it's a bad idea to decline because you have to strike while the iron is hot. And that was the first time I heard that phrase.
And you did not have any acting experience
Background, no,
prior
zero.
to that?
My
Zero.
only acting experience was when I was 12. During summer, syempre ano pa ako nun, elementary, pa high school na. Nung summer na yon, wala akong magawa. So si mommy, my friend siya na may-ari ng agency, pinag-VTR ako. Pumunta ako sa isang VTR ng commercial na napahiya ako ng todo. Kasi hindi
Why?
naman ako marunong.
Bakit?
Naalala ko noon, they were making me act for a commercial. So, ang daming tao, ang daming talents. Nung pagpasok ko pa lang, nakikita ko na itong mga tao to sa commercial. Tapos ako, I was really no one and I had no experience. Tapos napahiya ako kasi they made me do stuff. And I just froze. I remember, I really froze. Walang lumabas sa bibig ko, literal. And they were laughing at me. Cause, diba, parang, paano ka napunta dito? Bagito ka pala. And after nun, I was so heartbroken. The ride home, naalala ko nun, sinundo ako ng mom ko. Sabi ko, never na ako mag-VTR ulit. And then, she gave me, parang may magawa ako sa summer. She gave me a gift nung acting workshops at that time na paid. Naalala ko nun, it was very expensive for us at that time kasi again, we had our own struggles and it wasn't easy for us to just shell out like 13,000 pesos at that time. So she made me study acting and that was the start of I guess my acting journey. But then I didn't do anything with it because I didn't go to any other VTR after. I remember my first day. It's almost the same. I wasn't able to deliver my lines well. They were nakikita ko sa peripheral ko na iba natatawa kasi diba parang hindi ko alam kung anong ginagawa ko, and they gave me a big role when you know a lot of other young artists who were much better than me could have easily gotten that role. So yun.
Pero let's go back to the time na pumapasok ka sa showbiz. Bakit showbiz?
It wasn't a calculated decision at all. It wasn't I'm not like a lot of stories like kunyari best example na lang si Gab. She has been performing ever since she was young. Tapos nag-workshops, so parang I think even though kahit hindi niya aminin, it was one of her dreams talaga to be an artist and an entertainer. Ako, I wasn't like that. Hindi ako masyadong exposed to the industry nung bata ako. But one thing was for sure is that I loved performing on stage. I loved singing, but never really thought of it as a profession. But of
Pero
course,
ginagawa mo siya sa school? Like parang...
Yes. Nag-start ako, Sir Nelson, I was 13. So medyo late na actually for performers. Hindi naman sobrang late, but a lot of people kasi a lot of people start young, like 5 years old, 6 years old, kumakanta na. Pero yung actual contest, my first contest, I was 13. And I won that contest. Sa school lang, yung mga school singing contests yearly sa college fair. Yung mga ano lang per batch, tapos 1.5 yung premyo. Yun doon ako sumali. So but I was kind of the go-to singer in kumbaga yun yung way ko para sumipsip sa mga teachers. Pagka kailangan nila ng kakanta sa recognition day, sa ganitong sa ganitong events sa school, lagi yung kinukuha. So, hindi ako tumatanggi para maging favorite nila ako. I wasn't bred to be a professional early on. But then, I was inspired syempre by a lot of TV shows at that time. At that time, American Idol. Tapos yung sinalihan ko nga na Pilipinas Got Talent was fairly new. 2 seasons pa lang nun. And both of the first 2 seasons, singer ang nanalo. So, I was inspired by that, and it was at the back of my head lang na why not pursue music.
Khalil, what is it about performing na parang gusto mo siyang gawin?
I remember the first time that I actually fell in love with the feeling was In elementary, yung first ever ko na singing contest. Grade 7 ako noon. May grade 7 na kami noon. I didn't know what my potential was. Hindi ko alam kung kaya ko ba mag-perform on stage. Parang yung mentality ko noon is just do it. Parang, let's see where it can lead. Kumbaga parang, bahala na. I mean, I have nothing to lose. Kung mapahiya ako dito, hindi para sa akin to. Hindi na ako mag-singing contest next year, something like that. But at that time, I remember, and it's on YouTube actually, nasa ano ng mommy ko, nasa channel ng mom ko. I think that's one of my first like, I sang the same song, I'll Be. So parang karaoke song ko kasi yun, parang yun yung na-master ko na. And I discovered that I liked performing mainly because of the crowd. Really. It's the crowd control. I'm a big fan of some of the icons that I consider to be some of the greatest performers, like Freddie Mercury, Michael Jackson, yung mga talagang who have total control of the crowd. Di ba, ginawan ng movie si Freddie Mercury, yung Bohemian Rhapsody, and the clip where he controlled the crowd at Live Aid. And that became viral. Parang everyone just around the world started to know about it, and they researched about the actual clip and saw how one of a kind he truly is. I found that clip. I was very young. I was 7, 8 years old. Pinapanood sa akin ng daddy ko because we had the DVD of Live Aid. I remember the moment na nakikita ko kung paano siya mag-command ng crowd of 100,000 plus. Talagang up to this day, if I watch it, I still get chills. Kumbaga naging core memory ko siya na if I wanna be a performer, this is what I feel like the ultimate performer should be. Like MJ, like Freddie Mercury. And it's the crowd control. Yung stage presence, for me, that's the most fun part. When you see their reaction, when you do something that you've been rehearsing, when you start jumping around the stage, when you start feeling the song talaga, and yung height of emotions mo lang while you're performing, and you see them enjoying, not because you're a celebrity, not because of my physical appearance, but because they're very much in the moment with you. It's the connection.
We were talking about connection a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I guess that's what it's about. I mean, also with
And that's your
acting,
gift. And that's
connecting.
Your gift.
Yeah, I love connecting no matter who, diba, who's there, especially crowds.
Hindi lahat ng tao may ganyang gift.
Wow.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yung kahit na gaano sila ka-powerful, kahit na gaano sila kayaman, kahit na gaano sila ka-learned, minsan kulang sa kanila yung connection.
It's something that that I enjoy kasi, I guess. It's when you get the message across. But don't get me wrong, I freeze when I need to connect through words. Through, let's say, not words like an interview. This is not hard naman for me. But I freeze when I do hosting, when I do, kunyari, corporate events, yung may flow, tapos you need to have this certain type of energy para dun sa certain group of people, tapos kailangan, or like kunyari mag-host ako ng pageant, my goodness, dun ako nag-freeze. So I guess
yung pag hindi na ikaw yung in control, when somebody wants to control you.
Yeah, kasi may flow di ba? Ganun pag-host, there's a flow of thought, energy that you have to follow as a host, and you have to be good at it. Like when I was starting sa industry and they wanted to try for me to do hosting, yung makikita mo yung commands ng FD, yung floor director, na kailangan i-stretch or kailangan putulin na, grabe, my thoughts get scattered and I freeze. And I guess it's something that I haven't really gotten around to, to be good at. But yeah, I think kanya-kanya. I'm much more inclined to connecting through music and acting, storytelling.
I totally relate, yung if I'm in my comfort zone and I'm in control, kayang-kaya kong mag-host, ang bibo-bibo ko. Pero yung sabihin mo na parang may kailangan kang basahin, kailangan ganito ang feeling, kailangan ganito ang like you have to promote it this way.
Yeah.
I freeze.
Yun eh. Tsaka iisipin mo, hala, ginagawa ko ba ng tama? Hala, baka mukha akong engot. Baka ganito kasi parang, syempre, binabago mo na yung tono ng boses mo.
So, meron
iba
ka
na yung
ganon?
mga sinasabi. Yeah, oo. Madaming beses. Maybe that's just really not yung hosting of live events. Kasi I host, but like kunyari yung Front Seat Foodies, we host a food show or a travel show, and it's very different from like hosting events. Kasi events, yung time pressure, yung audience pressure, tas yung live ka across the entire nation. Yun yung intense for me.
I first saw you act sa Dead Kids. And ang galing mo doon. And hanggang dun sa sinasabi ko sa iyo, 'di ba, yung kinukwento ko sa iyo yung sa Love You Stranger.
Yeah.
Parang ang layo naman ito doon sa sinasabi mong nagpi-freeze ka at hindi ka marunong umarte.
It was a journey talaga. So yung sinasabi kong workshops kanina, si Director Ryan Carlos yun. He was the moderator or our teacher. He was one of the first people that told me that I had the potential because I have very expressive eyes and I have control over my voice. Sabi niya, you're a singer, so you really know how to modulate. So that's one of your assets as well. So sabi niya, i-develop mo. Kahit na, I had really the performances that I wasn't really proud of. That was at the back of my head na, people who have been in the industry for so long and I would consider experts in the field na told me that I had what it takes. So I really just started to take it seriously. Maybe if I could recall, sineryoso ko na siya when I started doing movies. My first being She's Dating the Gangster, and then my second being Kid Kula Fu, which was, I guess, the perfect mix.
Nag-boxing ka. Totoo
Nag-boxing
ito, no?
Yeah, that was real. We had to train. So I got the perfect mix of both mainstream and independent cinema. And when I did movies, dun ko na nakita yung this is something that I enjoy. This is something else. This is I guess I think I'll be doing this for the rest of my life, I believe. Sabi ko sa sarili ko nun.
Ano yung turning point, Khalil? Na parang ito pala yung para sa akin talaga.
Okay, so growing up, especially when I entered the industry, I had a lot of personal struggles with how society and the industry depicts a leading man, how I had struggled with the stereotypes that a leading man should be tall, should be brooding, should have a deep voice, and kailangan chiseled. Yeah, maputi. Chiseled. And I didn't have that gift, and it took a while for me to accept that you're just not that, and you have to work with what you have. So at that time, syempre bine-build up nila, they wanna try to build me up as a leading man, as a matinee idol. Pero yun nga, I didn't have the height for it. I'm a bit stocky. My body type is stocky, so I look short on TV. I wouldn't say I'm very short. I'm 5'7". I'm average height, but I really look short on TV because of the proportion of my body. So, ang tagal ko bago ko na-accept yun kasi I really wanted to be, successful in the field, and I wanted to be a leading man. Who doesn't want to be?
Props to you, I can totally relate. We're almost at the same height, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And ang feeling ko talaga noon na parang paano kung magti-TV parang liit-liit ko.
Mm-hmm. Kasi 'di ba yun yung dati eh. Yeah. Especially dati kasi now, I mean now it's very much open. It's different. Meron pa rin konting syempre advantage if you're tall. I wouldn't disagree. Pero now it's a much more open kumbaga iba't ibang body types. It's more diverse. So
Pero
back
naging
then,
insecurity mo ba yan? Naging,
it wasn't an
ano,
insecure.
parang-
I wouldn't say I was very insecure. I would say it was the challenge because people would always tell me to lose weight para mas mukhang matangkad. And I tried that but hindi naman ako nagmukhang mas matangkad. People always thought I was small. And when they would see me in person, they would always say, "Oh, ang tangkad mo pala." If I had 100 pesos per every time people told me na ang tangkad mo pala in person, dami ko nang pinaram. So yeah, yung turning point ko was when I accepted that and I wanted to take a different route. So at that time, there was some sort of movement towards Philippine cinema that kumbaga they were trying to really push for Philippine cinema to be successful again, for a new golden era. And I remember those that led it, sila Direk Paul, Direk Eric Mati, Direk Kathy, they were all at the helm of that movement and they were very successful in doing so. And eto, conscious decision. It was a decision for me to kind of veer away from the path which my peers chose, which is to be the leading man, to be part of a love team, to be ganito, and be successful in that, to be a teen idol, basically. Veer away from that and develop your craft on a very much deeper level. And I did that with like utmost passion. Talagang I was very, very passionate. I really wanted to prove something, I guess. Syempre kasi, yung challenges ko nga sa industry, gusto ko makita nila na despite my challenges, this is what I can offer. So this is what makes me unique, and this is what I can bring to the table. So I went back to workshops. I studied a lot of films. I built my connections in the film industry. So I was so happy to be able to work with some of the country's top directors, and I was very open. You mentioned Dead Kids kanina. That film is something that I really pushed to audition for. They posted a casting call, and I messaged the director. I told him that I watched his film, Birdshot. I'm a fan of his, and I want to audition for your film. So it was that drive na gusto kong maging actor at gusto kong makapunta sa iba't ibang bansa, be part of film festivals, gusto kong manalo, and until now that's what I want to do. So yeah, I think that's the turning point, is when I decided na okay, dito ako sa path na to kasi medyo naramdaman ko at that time wala masyadong nagtitake ng path na yon, and I could see the growth of content at that time. At that time, wala pang Netflix noon. So na parang everyone was saying na stories are gonna be much more deeper, content is gonna be consumed much more in the future, mas gugustuhin na nilang mas maganda yung mga konsepto, and true enough, it happened. I mean, it wasn't as fast here, pero it really did happen. So I guess I made the right decision.
Kanina hindi ako makapaniwala talaga doon sa mga sinasabi mo na yung about yung mga naramdaman mo, yung mga setbacks sa pagpasok mo sa showbiz, pero kasi sa lahat ng napanood ko sa yung mga pelikula, I can truly say that the camera loves you. The camera loves your face. At nagta-transcend dun sa lente yung confidence mo. Where is that coming from?
Ako, when I act, I'd always describe it para mas maintindihan ng tao na when I act and when I'm in the moment, especially during difficult scenes, those moments are like guitar solos.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go in a concert at makita mo yung gitarista na nag-solo or yung drummer na nag-solo, di ba pagka pinapanood mo sila, you're just in awe kasi they're in a trance. They're just one with their instrument. Wala silang pakialam sa kahit anong bagay. Sila lang tsaka yung instrument nila, as in
layman's term, no? Babangka ako.
As in very much in the zone. Tas dun lang sila. And every time I set foot in different characters, in a film, in a TV series, there's a character arc, and you would know when it's your time to do a guitar solo. And in those scenes, talagang I'm just consumed by the character. And whatever the people see on screen is me and the character merging. I'm becoming the instrument of that character. So I'm kind of like the guitar, and the character's the player, and I become him. And it's ako, I'm never conscious. One thing that they always tell me nga din is like I don't care kung ano itsura ko, and that's very important because you gotta drop being conscious when you're acting, and you have to be super true. I guess we're often captivated by performances because they're true. Ako, that's what I wanted to also just try to do all the time.
Is there any character na gusto mo pang i-play? Any dream role?
Oh, ang dami.
What comes to mind first?
I would love to be part of a movie that has a protagonist, bida, that na talagang papasok ka dun sa psyche niya, yung pag-iisip niya. And I would want to play that type of role na talagang mapa-psychological thriller man yan, or just a psychological film that would really challenge your thoughts, diba? Would really bend your kasi there's in that it's so exciting to perform such a role. Like kunyari the role of Leo sa Shutter Island, just for example, at the top of my head, that was the first one that came out. Imagine having to act in that, and yung twist dun sa dulo, which I won't spoil if you haven't seen Shutter Island,
I've
and
seen
if you're watching,
I've seen it a dozen times.
It's a really good film. But yeah, yung twist sa dulo, like grabe, to act like that, oh my goodness, ang sarap gawin nun. Kasi again, you have total control. So while Leo was probably filming that, iniisip niya, babaliwin ko yung audience.
26 and you are a CEO of your own company.
Yeah. It's very, very fun actually. We're a very small group, but until now we haven't, I guess I could say we haven't really reached the maximum potential of the business yet. It's a fairly new business, but because we had to sort of do a rebranding of some sort. So we started out, Limitless is the name of the production house, and we started that as an idea that we just wanted to do, really. It's because we would see other content creators in other countries do that, so tara, gawa tayo ng ganito dito. And it started out as a travel video. We produced travel videos at first. But yeah, it's a fun group. Hopefully soon we could just really find our niche, our hedgehog, kumbaga, the thing that we would want to do as a company. Because right now we just love creating. And another company that I run is, and not a lot of people know this, but Front Seat Foodies is actually a real company that Gabbi and I co-founded. So that's another venture that we did, that we just actually, another spur of the moment idea na parang wala lang, kasi we just have fun doing it. And I think that's, I guess, one advice that I could give it your business, or the thing that you should be doing for, I don't know, income is something that you love doing. I mean, nakakapagod siya in terms of fatigue, but we love doing it So parang very passionate kami about it.
I'm really very interested kung paano mag-business ang isang millennial or ang mga millennials ngayon, ano?
I think generally what people sort of view how millennials do business is usually high risk, high reward is something that I actually sometimes do. Kumbaga risk it for you to make it para malaki yung returns mo. But then yun nga it's very easy to be reckless nowadays, especially with very new concepts. Concepts that are very new to us, kagaya ng crypto, NFTs. So these are very, very new concepts. Ilang years pa lang, and we've seen people get really rich, and we've seen people, lose all their life savings because of it. So ako, my advice is to have a mix and a blend of different business practices. Ako, isa sa mga one of the things that I'm proud of with the two businesses that I'm part of is that we are very resourceful. And the resourcefulness, yung pagiging madiskarte, is something that is not new. It's a very old type of business practice. So we do take risks with our ideas. High risk kami, pero we calculate the expenses and the financials by being resourceful. So, for example, we started Limitless with a capital of less than 100,000. And that was all gear. We had no office because we didn't feel like we needed one. We had no permanent meeting place or editing place because we didn't feel like we needed one. And we just had our cameras and our ideas. Yun lang basically yung capital namin. And it was we just needed the confidence to do it. So, that number surprisingly grew. Yung capital na yun had, I don't know, like, it was 100K. It had 3,000% success in like the first 2 years. So, it's something that is very much doable now because of how fast-paced this whole world is. And I guess my advice is in this fast-paced world, don't be the quickest, don't be the slowest, you gotta be the smoothest. Ikaw lang yung smooth sailing dun if you visualize it as a highway. Because if you're too reckless, masyado nag-speeding ka na, delikado. Kung masyado kang mabagal, napapakiwanan ka. Pero yung mga consistent na smooth lang, dadating sila dun sa dulo.
Alam mo, parang ang feeling ko, you are an old person trapped in a millennial's body, in a millennial's persona. Totoo, no? I mean, tama ako na pag sinabi ko na old soul ka.
Yeah, I appreciate a lot of things that are much older.
Yeah, vintage cars, coffee.
I'm very influenced by my parents. And when I was young, I was around a lot of older people, mga titos and titas. This might surprise some people. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of friends. I had just a few friends. So I didn't get to hang out with a lot of kids, just the few handful of people. So I wasn't as outgoing
Introvert ka ba?
Yeah, I grew up as an introvert, but not to my friends. Maybe to my friends kasi I'm comfortable and I could be myself. But I wasn't the type of person who could just talk to anyone, yung makakagawa ng conversation with anyone. I don't really talk to people that I don't know. So ironic because I'm in the showbiz industry and I had to adjust. So right now I would probably not be a pure introvert anymore because of circumstances. But yeah, before, mahihain ako dati. It took a while for me to be comfortable with my own self, with the tone of my voice, how I talk, dati hindi talaga So I'm happy now that it's one of the advantages, I guess, of being part of the industry na natuto ako, maging totoo, maging open lang to what my life is basically. So
You love vintage cars, no? Aside from
yes.
Aside from yung mga sinasabi mong mga old gadgets, bakit ka
Yeah.
nahihilig sa ganon?
One, cause I grew up. Both my parents were car salesmen, so they were salespeople. They sold cars for a living, so I knew the concept of a vehicle way earlier than a lot of my friends did. My dad would teach me how a car works, so I grew a fascination for vintage cars when I actually syempre had some money to spare that I could get a vehicle with. And my dad, who knows how to build the car, well, not really build the car, but knows how to yung basic mechanic work, basic work sa car. He told me, na why not let's restore a vintage car, and we got that instead of a new one. We got it at a good price, and it's worth 2 times more now. So if I sold that car now, I would have made I'd double my money, which is a win-win. Because that's something that we should do. It's not wrong. Just enjoy your hobbies, diba? Pero if you could be smarter with it, then why not?
Grabe, alam mo, Khalil, for the past hour, ang dami kong natutunan from a millennial's point of view, sa'yo. Hindi lang sa career, kundi pati sa life lessons, pati business kasama na rin, ano? And thank you very much for opening up.
Thank you.
Hindi ko naramdaman yung pagiging introvert mo dito sa pinag-usapan namin ni Gabbi, yung 2015. Yung first time ninyong nagkita doon sa party ni Julia Barreto.
That was, I think, my 3rd or 4th year of being single.
Kawawa naman.
Yeah, so
Joke lang.
Kawawa naman, 4 years na single.
Oo, so inaasar ako ng mga tao na noon, as in, syempre wala akong significant other, so lagi akong nakiki-third wheel, 4th wheel, 5th wheel. So nung time na yon, naalala ko pa nga noon, lahat nung nasa table may significant other sila nung gabing yun. Ako lang yung single. Si Gabbi was introduced to the entire table kasi may common friends siya dun sa table na yun, and then ayun, siya, I remember her, ayos na ayos siya eh. So sobrang elegant nung
Parati naman eh.
Pero that time, Sir Nelson, ano lang ba ako noon? 16?
Oo, ano ka pa lang noon?
Baby pa ako noon. 17,
Yeah.
16. Kasi nung time na nagkakilala kami, hindi pa kami naging kami. He waited 2 years pa. We waited 2 years pa before naging kami.
Yeah, hindi kagad naging kami. 2017 kami nag-start mag-date. But I remember that moment. It was ang ganda ng moment kasi nag-uusap lang kami nung gabing yun. We were just talking about
friends.
Yeah, as in,
Yeah.
Pero may spark.
Ako may connection na.
Ay, sabi mo na, spark
Okay.
na, press na yun.
Connection is different from spark, ha?
Mas malalim.
It's rare for me to get to open up right away to anyone, especially a stranger. So si Gab noon, and hindi ako talaga yung may meet lang akong girl tapos makakausap ko na siya for the entire day. Hindi ako ganun eh. Kasi hindi nga ako magaling masyado makipag-usap. Pero nag-connect kami ni Gab surprisingly nung gabing yun.
Opposites talaga kami, Sir Nelson.
Yeah.
Oo nga eh. Kasi introvert and extrovert.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Oh, it's the best thing ever. Like,
Why best thing ever?
hindi. Kasi diba, people often, they have this misconception na parang, well,
Hindi kayo mag-work.
oo, hindi kayo mag-work. Masyadong, madaldal si Gabby, tas ikaw tahimik. Paano yun? Parang ganyan.
Oo
But it's the
nga.
best thing ever. Kasi, si Khalil, tinuruan ako kung paano maging kalma. At the same time ako, si Khalil, tinuruan ko siya how to like just socialize.
So naghahatakan kayo.
Yeah.
Yes,
Ang
that's why
ganda.
that's why it's a very helpful aspect in a relationship. Kasi parang nababalanse kami ng isa't isa.
But you said you had to wait for 2 years before naging kayo talaga. Was it love at first sight na hindi na consummate?
Was it? For me, no. Ikaw?
No.
It wasn't
Crush at first sight.
maybe
Crush,
crush at
oo.
first sight. Oo.
Oo.
Crush
Kasi
at
parang
first sight.
mahirap din talaga yung love at first sight. Ewan ko kung totoo yun parang ang unless talagang like literal na in love ka agad dahil
Dude, I'm
siya.
telling you right now, it's a scam.
It's a scam.
Ang
Fake
daming
news
beses,
nga eh.
ang dami ko ng beses na na-scam dyan, na love at first
Yeah.
sight.
Na feeling mo
after,
yun na.
Oo, after 1 month, ay, ayoko pala.
Yeah, like so buti na lang na hindi kami love at first sight because true love takes time.
That's true. And you know what, Sir Nelson, na-figure din namin na buti na lang din hindi naging kami ng 2015 because we had so many things to do during
Yeah.
those 2 years.
Dami pa.
During 2015, 2016 hanggang 2017, napakadaming nangyari sa buhay namin individually. I had Enka during that time. And Khalil was flying around the world during that time.
Traveling around the world. Yeah.
Traveling a lot.
Traveling a lot, yeah.
And you had to mature,
Oo.
hindi lang dun sa
Yeah.
career ninyo, kundi yung sa sarili ninyo.
Yes. Kaya nung naging kami, parang sakto lang din.
What made you say yes, Gabby?
We have this certain connection that I couldn't find from other people. It's a different kind of connection. It's like you're with your soulmate, parang ganon.
If
You
there's
just-
such a thing as soulmate, na-define
Yeah.
mo na talaga yun.
Yeah, because it's for me kasi it's just like you have no worries at all. Like zero worries to show your true self to that person. No matter how good it is or bad it is, as long as you can like show your true self to that person. Parang I feel like yun na yun talaga. I've never encountered any, never ako nagkaroon ng hindrance to show my true self to Khalil because I know that he never judged me in any way.
I guess yung yung ang maganda nun, yung pag nakita mo yung the one, yung confidence na nabibigay niya, para ma-boost ka as a person. Kasi, I was talking to some friends one time at sinabi na parang, do you finish each other's sentences? Yes, we do. And I hate it. Because sometimes gusto kong sabihin, finish na niya. I don't like it.
I know, it's like that also.
Pero, diba, pero yung confidence, yung I became the person that I am now, dahil nakilala ko yung the one for me.
Yes, that's true. And I feel like it's a healthy relationship if you bring out the best in each other.
Yeah. Isa pang scam yung yung you complete me.
No.
Yes.
Oo.
True.
Ano yun?
True.
Is a red flag.
It's a red flag. Yeah. Kasi ako rin, yun dun sa love of my life. Ang namin talaga dyan, when we first met, ang sinabi niya sa akin, kumpleto na ako hindi mo ako kinukumpleto Parang sabi ko, ako din. Kumpleto din ako. In fact,
Exactly.
hindi na nga kita kailangan sa buhay ko, pero I want you in my life.
Yes.
Yun
Diba?
talaga yun. It's finding a person that you could share life with.
And
that
enjoy life with.
that you could complement rather than looking for someone to
Who can fill you. See,
Ito ba
we
yun?
each other sentence. See, ayan na naman tayo. Parehas na naman kami ng naiisip. Like, ganyan, Sir Nelson.
Parehas ko yung naiisip.
Lagi kami parehas ng naiisip.
Same wavelength kasi. Yun yung sinasabi mo parang soulmates. I feel like yung explanation to it is that we're on the exact same wavelength.
Yeah.
And it's very important din kasi we have the same way of communicating.
Yeah.
And sometimes, di ba, masarap isipin na parang, uy, pareho tayo iniisip. Pero minsan, di ba, nakakabuisit din.
Nakakainis. Sayang yung moment.
Oo.
Kayo for sure, meron kayong mga ganon.
Maraming beses.
Maraming beses.
A lot of like small random
Oo.
things.
Maraming beses din yung tipong alam ko na kung saan niya ako dadalhin.
Oo. Ang hirap mag-surprise.
Kasi yung gusto niya, gusto ko din eh. And vice versa.
Wait, interesado rin ako. Nag-aaway ba kayo?
Right?
Nag-aaway?
Oo, nag-aaway ba kayo? Meron ba kayong matinding tampuhan?
We have arguments. Pero yung fight talaga, like, as in, yung fight na
Hindi talaga
may
mag-uusap.
conflict.
Oo, talaga.
Yun, rare na lang. Dati,
Before,
syempre,
when you're starting
early
out.
stages, may
Of
mga
course,
conflict.
syempre, di ba? Nung
May iwasan.
mga bago tayo, gusto nating maraman kung sinong alpha eh, di ba?
Pero ngayon, parang
Arguments, mga
more on argument na lang. And
napapag-usapan. So, hindi siya yung talagang conflict na malalim.
oo.
It's mostly arguments na dahil may pagkakamali,
Misunderstanding. Ganun lang. Pero hindi namin usually pinapaabot na sa malalang away. What we do is we really talk about it. We choose to talk about it. We have to talk about it. Parang ganun.
So hindi kayo like parang kasi sabi mo nga Gabby na yung confrontational ka. Like parang
yes.
if I did something wrong, I want to know now because I wanted to apologize if I'm wrong.
Yes. Also, Nelson, I learned my lesson.
Mm-mm.
Before kasi, I'm very confrontational. Like, I ask right away, what's wrong? Or, ang sakit ng ganito, or nakakainis ka, ganyan.
Mm-mm.
But then, dun papasok din yung balanse that Khalil brought in my life. So before, I'm a very, aaminin ko, I'm tactless, lalo na before. Like, I say what's on my mind. I say what I feel. Even though it hurts, I'm sorry, but I have to say it. Ganun ako.
Empowered ka kasi.
Yeah. But, growing up and being with Khalil all these years, I learned how to balance it out. Na, you can say what you feel, what you think without hurting each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of it. You can be confrontational without being hurtful. And that's what Khalil mainly taught me. Na parang, you can tell me how you feel. You can tell me na naiinis ka sa akin, but you don't need to hurt me, and we can settle it in a nice way.
I guess pumapasok yung na parang sometimes some arguments take time bago ma-resolve. Na
Yes, that's true.
not all arguments mare-resolve agad natin to.
Yeah. Minsan we wait it out. Like, for example, magkagalit kami nung gabi. Sometimes we wait it out in the morning. Pagka bagong gising na kami, kumalma na kami, then okay.
Pag-uusapan.
What happened last night? Ito, ganito. Okay.
Di ba, sabi ko nga sobrang pasay na yung sobrang pasay na yung kasabihan na huwag kayong matutulog na magkaaway. Sobrang pasay na yun. Like, I've learned it through the years na some arguments take time. You wait it out kahit na 2 days na parang yung kalma lang.
Oo.
Hindi naman kayo maghihiwalay eh. Pero kailangan nyo lang kalma muna para makapag-usap kayo ng maayos.
Yes, kasi the hurtful words that can come out from your mouth, you can take it back eh. And, words are very hurtful. It's very damaging. So, di pagkagalit na galit ka, tapos pinili niyong mag-usap ng mataas yung emosyon yung parehas.
Walang madudulot na maganda.
Oo, tsaka di pa pwedeng bawiin lahat ng sinabi mo kasi nasabi mo na nakasakit ka na.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes, di ba, pag yung in the heat of the argument, yung parang at the peak of your emotions, you say things that you don't mean.
Yeah.
Just to hurt the person kasi depends mo yun.
Ganyan ako dati, Sir Nelson. Oh my gosh.
Ang na-appreciate ko sa inyong dalawa, dun sa relationship nyo, yung sa dynamics ng relationship nyo, pag nakikita ko kayo, is the simplicity of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yung
yeah.
walang big gestures, walang holding hands, walang nothing. I mean, if you like to hold hands, pero it's not, hindi pinipilit. Yun yung napapansin
hindi put
ko.
on.
Hindi put on. So, maganda, no? Maganda yung gano'n. Na-develop nyo lang ba ito all through the years o ever since gano'n na kayo?
Feeling ko kasi we never really had to parang put it on. Parang pag inisip mo, parang ang hirap nga gawin yun eh.
Alam mo, doon nga kami nahihirapan, Sir Nelson. Kunya may prod number kami.
Kailangan.
Okay, kailangan nyo magpakilig para kami.
Parang hindi siya natural kasi.
Oh no, lapitan mo, kailangan may paluhod and may pakiss ng kamay. Para kami,
Syempre hindi naturally hindi kami. Well, we understand na it's for entertainment purposes. Pero yun parang ang mas mahirap pa mag-put on for us. Maybe because we didn't really start our relationship with the purpose na we wanted to be known, maybe kasi parang we wanted to show everyone na we're together. We started it talagang like with purpose of it being a long-term relationship.
yeah.
And I think we were on the same page on that when we actually committed to each other. So we kept it under wraps for quite some time kasi we just didn't want any other external forces to get in the way.
Uy, totoo yan totoo yan. Kasi the less tao na nakakaalam or the less tao na nakaka-radar sa inyo, mas konti yung nakikialam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you get to focus more on the actual foundation of the relationship. Kasi all relationships need that. You need to establish a good foundation with your partner, also with your parents or your siblings. Kasi if you care for them, kailangan matibay yung connection yun, yung relasyon yun, dalawa. And that from the get-go, that's what we wanted.
That was the goal.
Each other. We wanted a partner that we could entrust our life to. And
Totoo.
yun yung mentality na gano'n, even though syempre hindi mo kami everyday na hindi mo kami robot. Pero yung kumbaga yung state of mind na we're investing our time.
Yeah, nasa same page tayo.
Same page tayo na ano ba, saan pa pupunta to? And we're not just having fun, we actually want this to be a purposeful relationship.
Diba parang, hindi ako nandito para mag-happy-happy lang yung gano'n. Parang,
Of course, merong mga
happy, but it's not like yung parang yun lang.
Yeah. Again, it's just a state of mind. It's the purpose of it. What counts.
Ang maganda kasi niyan, pareho kayong matalino and pareho kayong way ahead of your time mag-isip. Like, katulad ngayon sinasabi ko kanina kay Khalil, bibihira ako nakakausap ng mga 26-year-old na ganito mag-isip.
Yeah.
And it goes the same way for you, Gab. Isa ka doon sa mga yung sobrang bata na kilala ko na parang ang feeling ko minsan kaedad ko yung kausap ko eh.
Hindi rin alam kung bakit actually.
Pero I've heard na parang you had a US vacation recently.
Yeah.
Ano ba ito? Nag-level up ba ang relationship nyo dito? Khalil, baka nag-propose ka na. Hindi pa.
Are we getting married?
Sino ang mas punctual sa mga dates?
Ako yan.
Ako syempre.
Hindi ikaw, Babs. Hindi ikaw yan. Aawayin kita.